This is Bliss Oasis. Change your thinking, change your life.
I was looking at our records, and since 2012, we've covered around 4,800 girls.
4,800.
Because basically every year we give us a budget of like 500 girls. We try every year to get to 500 girls, and these has come by the help of, even in like Kipia, we are working with some there are some lodges that are using Binti Mwangaza as their CSR. So at least those ones have come into so much help to help us get to reach as many girls as possible. And also the business Binti World, because some people feel that they don't want to buy a kit for a girl, but when they're buying something for themselves, either if it's a picnic blanket or a bathrobe, they feel, oh, it's a good feel factor. If I buy something for myself and 10% profit goes to the reusable sanitary.
Welcome to Bliss Oasis Podcasts, where we bring you untold stories of everyday people. I'm your host, Patrick Ngugi. Our guest today is Anni Gakii, the founder of Binti Mwangaza, based in Nanyuki, which for almost a decade now has been offering affordable alternative sanitary towels to young and impoverished girls who could not afford the normal pads. Anni's community-based organization has so far reached over 4,000 girls. During that period, many of whom would have either dropped out of school or forced into early marriages. In our interview with Anni, she gives her background and also how the idea to help these young girls cropped up in her mind, considering her own experience as a young girl growing up in Meru. Welcome to the interview, but first, let's get today's message. And today's message is about self-love. We are taught to love others as we love ourselves. But how can we do this if we do not love ourselves? There are people who, due to certain circumstances that happen in their lives, stopped loving themselves a long time ago. Remember, we are all born into bliss. We are born loving ourselves, but along the way, we experience what makes us doubt ourselves. This is due to constant pressure from teachers, parents, community, and peer pressure that eventually makes us feel not good enough. Since we want to please, we start feeling that we are not good enough, and eventually we feel worthless and hide our magnificence. Self-love gives us confidence, self-acceptance, self-respect, self-esteem, self-worth, and feeling good about ourselves. When you love yourself, you are capable of giving love and can allow others to love you. When you love yourself, your vibration is high and you naturally attract everything you desire. But if you don't love yourself, you attract disappointments. You won't even see opportunities right in front of you. You will be in a strained relationship because if someone loves you, you won't be able to feel it and give back love. Everything in your environment is a reflection of your self-love or lack of it. That is a message for today. Now let's go to the interview we had last week with Anni Gakii, also known as Binti Mwangaza. Karibuni. So welcome again to Bliss Oasis Africa, where we go out there looking for people to tell us stories because we believe everyone has a story. And today we are lucky to have Anni. Anni will tell us a lot about her project. I met Anni about 5 years ago. I can't imagine, time has really flown. I met her in Nanyuki, where I used to work, and she was involved in a project that was assisting poor girls or girls in marginal areas to be able to continue their education, despite the fact that they may not be affording the sanitary towels, which usually are quite expensive for the low-income earners. And we know many girls in those areas sometimes have to go without school for almost a week. And sometimes they are taken advantage of by other people. So that if they are given money to buy sanitary towels or towels, they're taken advantage of eventually. And many even stay out of school and are forced to into early marriages. But that is a story that will come later. Right now, we want to hear the story from herself. We want to hear the story from Anni Gakii. She'll tell us how it all started, but it all started with herself. She'll tell us about her life. So welcome to the podcast, and tell us first of all.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, tell us first your name, ulitoka wapi, ulisomea wapi, then you gradually go into your project.
All right. Okay, good afternoon again.
Good
Thank you so much,
afternoon.
Patrick, for this.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, as you've heard, my name is Anni Gakii, the founder of Binti Mwangaza CBO. And yeah, I come from Maua, that is in Meru North, but basically I reside in Nanyuki. So I'll start with how the idea of Binti Mwangaza was born. In the year 2006 to 2009, I used to work for a women institution on microfinance. That was in Western Kenya region. And what we used to do is go out there, create a portfolio, train women on business. I was a business development officer, yeah, train women on business, teach them about the company product, and fund them, and later on go back and collect the loans from them. And that's when I used to figure out that most of the girls used to be out with their moms when we used to go for the group meetings. And I remember talking to some of the moms, that was in 2007-8, and asked them why the girls were not in school, and they said it's because they could not afford sanitary towels. So they just stayed at home when they were menstruating. I remember in the year 2009, I wrote to a company called Uru International. They're in Kibera, and they used to manufacture reusable sanitary towels, which they do up to date. And I asked them if they could give me a couple of kits that I shared with the girls, and asked them if they could use that, if that was an option they could use rather than missing school. And they received it positively, and they were happy with that. And after the post-skirmishes, I left my job in Western Kenya, came to Nanyuki, where I was working with a SACCO coordinator for then Barclays Bank of Kenya. And that's when I thought, why don't I register a CBO called Binti Mwangaza to do the same manufacture reusable sanitary towels for school girls. And that's how the idea was born.
Okay, that's how the idea was born. And you said you are born in Maua, then
Yes.
you live in Nanyuki. How does that come in? Did you finish schooling in Maua, or you started elsewhere? Give us a bit of your life history.
Both the primary school and high school, I studied in a school called Chogoria. Yeah, Chogoria Boarding Primary School, and then Chogoria Girls High School. And after that, I went to college in Nairobi, where I did cooperative management and banking.
Which college was this?
Cooperative College in Karen.
Okay.
Yes.
You said you studied what in Karen?
Cooperative management and banking.
Which year did you complete?
The year 2006.
All right. So between that time, after you completed your studies, how long did it take you before going to Western Kenya, or how did you find yourself in Western Kenya?
Still, when we were in college, we used to have these companies come and conduct interviews in school. Yeah. And I was lucky to secure myself a job with the Kenya Women Finance Trust in Western Kenya, still when I was in college. So direct from college, I went to work.
Okay, so what exactly, okay, you mentioned a bit, but what exactly were you doing with that company in Western Kenya?
I used to work as a business development officer.
Yeah.
Business development officer, what we used to do is go out there, find women in business, train them on businesses, fund them, and make sure that they run a business successfully and they are able to pay back their loans. Yeah.
I see. And it was, had you noticed the problem you noticed there about girls not going to school? Had you noticed before elsewhere, or you noticed it while you were in Western Kenya?
No, even as a young child, like I was born in a family of 8, 6 girls and 2 boys.
Okay.
And you can imagine with menstruation, it's like an hormonal thing. So if one of the girls is menstruating in the house, everyone else is. So in case your parents are not like able to afford to buy each girl sanitary towels, which, let me give you an example, maybe one packet cost around 100 shillings. And a girl will use, like in a month, she will use 3 kits. That totals up to 300 in a month. So in a year, that's 300 times 12, that's 3,800. So you can imagine, if you're in a family where it's only the dad who is working, would you rather buy the family food or buy them sanitary towels? And you could even see in the villages, most of the girls were engaging into really bad things like maybe prostitution, early marriages, so that they could afford the sanitary towels. Yeah.
So you noticed that even at your age, at your time when you were growing up.
Yes.
So did you have a personal experience, or maybe you are lucky your dad was able to buy for all the 6 girls?
Even though at times we never got that badly off, at times we could go without. You can imagine if it's 6 girls, your mom is a housewife, it's only the dad who is working. So at times, like you have to go through using like whatever you could afford at home. So if it's the t-shirts or whatever, anything, even if it's your own dress that you just fold and wear and wash it, you'll just use whatever is available at the moment.
Okay, so did you or any of your sisters have to miss school because of that?
My elder sisters did. Yeah, we were lucky at least to be born being the last one. So we got into the family when at least some are already married. So at least that was lucky for the last borns, and me being the second last born, we were a bit lucky, but the first borns and the first sisters were really, they had a tough one.
Okay.
I remember like,
so,
sorry.
Yeah, so can we, when you went to Western Kenya and you started working in this project, was this challenge still in your mind before you met these girls or these families that are going through this problem? I'm talking about your experience as a young girl. Had it gone out of your mind by the time you were meeting you are seeing similar challenges in Western Kenya?
No.
Had you forgotten about it?
No. One thing is, with me growing as a young girl, I usually used to have really, really bad cramps. So but still back in high school and still when I was working, I used to have these bad cramps. And every time I used to go and meet these girls, at least when I was working, I could afford to buy myself the best sanitary towels. And when you met with these girls, at the back of your mind, you're like, how do these girls cope without any sanitary towels, with the crumbs, with trying to hide everything? So still that remains at the back of your mind, because every month you're reminded of it. Either you're having the crumbs, you're working with a male colleague who really, at the moment, they were really not, they don't really understand how this happens. So you're a bit scared when you're going to the field work with them. You're like, at sometimes there are no even latrines or toilets. So you're like, oh my God, what if something happens and I soil myself? I'm with the male colleagues. You cannot even talk to them about that. Yeah, so it's something that as a girl, it keeps on coming back to your head. Yeah.
So eventually when you were in Western Kenya, was it Kakamega or Bungoma? Where was it?
It was in Kakamega, a place called Mbale. Yeah.
Yeah, so while you were there and you saw what you saw, your instinct mind or your subconscious mind decided, told you maybe you need to do something. And that's why you wrote to the Kibera group.
Yes. I wrote to quite a lot of groups, but the Kibera one managed to be the one to respond back to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because of that, how many girls were benefited, or it didn't last long because we had to leave?
The moment I just like, cause I wrote and then they got back to me in 2008 and they sent me 50 kits, which I gave the girls. So those were 50 girls. And then in the year 2009, I had to leave Western Kenya back to Mount Kenya.
Because of the elections and clashes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but these have really affected a lot of people and changed a lot of life in a negative way. And we are always hoping that will be the last of it. So
that will be the last.
Yeah. So you came back to, okay, you didn't go home directly. Or did you go home first, or you just came to Nanyuki? And how come to Nanyuki?
When I was still at Western Kenya, I wanted to come back home. So I started applying for jobs, and I applied for a job in Nanyuki as a loans officer, and I got the letter. So that's what brought me to Nanyuki.
Loans officer with the same company or another company?
No, totally a different company. It was a Sacco coordinator Kofosa, although I didn't last there long because it's not what I wanted to do.
Yes.
Yeah, I still had the idea for manufacturing reusable sanitary towels at the back of my mind.
And so you started sometime in 2014, 2013, Binti Mwangaza?
I registered the CBO in 2012. That's 2012. When I registered the community-based organization, yes.
Okay. So how was it, how was the experience at the beginning? When you started, you registered the CBO, Binti Mwangaza, isn't it?
Yes, the
Binti Mwangaza, which later I think got a sister called Binti World.
Binti World.
But you'll tell us about that later. Tell us the beginning of Binti Mwangaza and the challenges you got and how was it received by the community?
Yeah, so registering a community-based organization here, you have to have a group of 15 members, which for me, it was really hard to convince people. And when I moved to Nanyuki, I thought, because I know people in Maua, because that's where I was born. It's better I went to Maua and spoke to people about it. And so we registered the CBO called Binti Mwangaza.
Yes.
And when I registered the CBO, of course, with the members, they expect that you will run everything like in a span of a minute. They'll start getting donations. The CBO will run perfectly, but it doesn't work like that. So when I registered the CBO, I still had to go back to work because the first donation I applied never went through. So I thought this ain't gonna work. So I went back to work. And after every time, like after my salary, I had to get some money from the salary to take back to the community-based organization to manufacture the reusable sanitary towels or talk to well-wishers and family and friends and ask them to keep the CBO sustainable, which went on for quite some years, but I thought this is not working because it has to be sustainable. And that's when I realized I needed to register a business that supports the CBO because a CBO is non-profit making. So you're not supposed to make any shilling from it. So that's when we started Binti World, which is a registered business that we manufacture all kind of stuff like picnic blankets, bathrobes, oven gloves, and then we sell them because this is a business and 10% profit of this goes back to our community-based organization, which is now paying for the part that the girls get for free.
Okay. Now, you said it was difficult to get support once you started Binti Mwangaza. And whatever you are doing was noble cause because many people know about the problem of the girl child. Why was it so difficult? Because even if you ask me, even I thought many people would jump at the idea. So why was it so difficult?
Okay, as you said that, Patrick, I would also think that's the first time. But something like menstruation topic is not as exciting as Save the Rhino or Save the Lion. So when you talk to lots of people about menstruation, all they do is snare or just go like, oh, lots of people do that. You expect that this is a normal thing, so people will jump into it. But it's not the reality. When you talk to people about menstruation,
is it because it's been a taboo to many? Yes.
Exactly, yeah. So it's the taboo because I've stopped some men and tried to discuss over a cup of tea about this, and they just go like, oh my God, don't go there, don't mention that. And it's not such an interesting topic to talk about.
I know. I remember those days when I was in Nanyuki, you were really struggling. And personally, I actually thought, well, I understood the situation, but I thought it's weird. At some corner of my mind, I thought it's wow, okay. But
Exactly,
anyway, you went on and you went on and you started the Binti World.
yes.
Does that, apart from producing what it's producing as blankets, cushion, and whatever they are doing, are they also producing the sanitary towels also for sale?
Yeah, that's what we do.
For sale,
Yes.
for example.
Sorry, say that again.
Are they also producing the sanitary towel for sale, not for donation? I mean, if somebody wanted to come and buy for themselves or for their daughters.
Yes.
You have customers like that, like those.
Yeah, we have lots of customers who come to our shop and the workshop, and they buy them for themselves to use. Because what I tell people, before even we give them to the school girls, I try to show them that it's not a bad thing, because I myself from 2012, that's what I've been using, the reusable sanitary towels. So lots of people here, they're getting into the culture of using reusable sanitary towels because they are completely no plastics involved in them. So for your hygiene, for your environment.
And no chemicals also.
For affordability, no chemicals. It's all 100% cotton because it's a normal material that used to make baby napkins. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you started Binti Mwangaza and you started making those sanitary towels, did you have to employ people, or did you have to get people to come and teach how they are made? Or how did you just get a tailor to start making them? Or how did you start?
Lots of people ask me this because it's really weird. What I did first before I even got the tailors, I had to go on YouTube and learn how to make a reusable sanitary towel. So when I'm not a tailor by profession or whatever, but there are so many things you can learn online. So when I got the seamstresses, I started with one, then two. At the moment, we have like, we have 3 full ones, full time. But we usually have casuals who come and ask for work and work on the reusable sanitary towels. So it's not something that is complicated. It's not science, like it's not so complicated. Anyone can sew a reusable sanitary towel. So we just,
So I know you have a sample, and somebody would like to know, like, when you give one to a girl, for example, what does she get? How many pieces and how long can they last? They're also washable. Can you explain about that?
Okay, I have one of our Binti kits here. I don't know if you can see that. So a girl receives this kit, and I'll show you what it entails. So there is a bag like this, which has got a bag comes with 6 of these. These are the pads. I don't know.
Yes, 6 of them.
And and they have the flip, the snap buttons. I'm not sure if you can see. So a girl gets 6 of these. 2 panties. Sorry, Because what I figured out is when you go to some of these villages, the girls don't even have the panties. So when you give them a sanitary towel, how will they wear it without a panty? So we give them 2 of these. We give them another small bag. This bag they used to put the used sanitary towel. If they're in a day school, they can just, when they're menstruating and go to the toilets, they can change and put it here. And why have we made it like you can feel it's a waterproof fabric. And this is when they store the used pad here, the blood doesn't dry. So if they go home in the evening, they can easily clean it. Wash it. And the other thing we give them is a piece of bar soap. So we encourage most of the girls just to use a normal bar soap, not to use any detergents, because if they use detergents, they might not rinse it properly, and then it will give them all these complications. And then I give them, I print a small, a printout, and these I give the girls. It's just a small instruction on how to take care of your Binti kit, so that at least it reminds them it's theirs and theirs alone. They're not supposed to share with the sisters or with the mom or with the aunties.
Okay. Is there a reason why they should not share?
Yes, so many hygiene reasons. One thing being it's they're using it for the purpose of whatever goes there is blood, yeah?
Yeah.
And there are so many diseases that are blood related here, if it's HIV or hepatitis B. So we don't want any of the girls sharing to avoid all these,
Okay, so how many girls have benefited through Binti Mwangaza since you started? And how has the coming in of Binti World helped in maybe increasing the supply or the distribution?
Okay, yeah. I was looking at our records, and since 2012, we've covered around 4,800 girls.
4,800.
Because basically every year we give us a budget of like 500 girls. We try every year to get to 500 girls, and these has come by the help of, even in like Kipia, we are working with some there are some lodges that are using Binti Mwangaza as their CSR. So at least those ones have come into so much help to help us get to reach as many girls as possible. And also the business Binti World, because some people feel that they don't want to buy a kit for a girl, but when they're buying something for themselves, either if it's a picnic blanket or a bathrobe, they feel, oh, it's a good feel factor. If I buy something for myself and 10% profit goes to the reusable sanitary towels, they're not doing it directly, but anyway, it still ends up going to the girls. And we have lots of clients in Kenya. We have lots of clients using, we have an online shop. So yeah, the business has contributed a lot.
So the ones you have given directly as Binti Mwangaza, the 4,800. And what is the reach? What is the region that you have served? Which areas have you? Yeah, which areas have you given? Is it just like Kipia, for example, or you've gone further than Kipia?
We've worked with Laikipia County, Meru County, Samburu, and recently we've worked with people in Turkana through Lake Turkana Wind Power.
Okay.
So we are not limited to one area. We are, as far as we can.
Okay, you say you have clients elsewhere in Kenya. And they buy through your website, your online shop.
We've got an online shop,
which you are going to give us the address, and we are going to put it in the description area below. And so what are your future plans now? I mean, you have already covered those counties. And again, I should commend you, because this is almost 5,000 girls you have seen. Those are more than 5,000 lives, because you have saved, I mean, particularly for education, because none of them have dropped out of school. And as one West African statesman said some time ago, if you educate one girl, you have educated a whole family. So that's quite commendable. And what are your immediate future plans for Binti World and Binti Mwangaza?
At the moment, as I was telling you, we've just opened now a proper workshop in Nanyuki. I'm praying that in the future we can employ as many women as possible, at least so that we can make sure that they have some employment and they can support their families. And we can also we are hoping like in the future we can cover each and every girl. We don't want any girl missing out of school due to menstruation matters. And we also want to kill this taboo of menstruation. You can remember some years back, there's a girl who committed suicide in Baringo. Yeah. And that was because she just swelled up a dress, and the teachers and the classmates made fun of her.
Yes.
So we are also trying to teach people and asking people, even men, our dads, our brothers, to come with us on board and try kill this menstruation taboo. Just make it feel like a normal thing, which it is. Yeah.
And how do you do that? Do you have seminars or workshops? How do you pass that information, that message?
When I go to schools, because most of these schools are mixed schools, before it was really hard with the teachers because they weren't allowing me to do a session with the boys. But at the moment, it's been really easy because I asked the teachers if I can do a session with both the boys and the girls about menstruation, which you let the boys talk openly about menstruation. And by this, the girls feel much comfortable because these are their brothers. They go with them at them. And when their girls are menstruating, of course, their brothers are there. They live in the same houses, they live in the same village. So we do a lot of trainings with the boys and the girls. We don't it's not a girls thing only. And even if we do it in the villages, we are training young ladies, we do it with their husbands. Yeah.
And how has that been the response? On the other, or how's been the response and the awareness, or even the reaction towards menstruation?
At the moment, I can say things are changing, because some years back when we were starting, like 5 years ago, it was really hard, like going to places like Laikipia North, trying to talk to men about menstruation. They wouldn't even look at you twice. But at the moment, they even engage, they talk about it. So yeah, things are changing pole pole. Yeah.
And are you getting invitation to schools?
Yes.
Or, yeah.
I get a lot of invitation to schools, and what I'm getting at the moment, it's lots of emails of people wanting to be trained on how to make reusable sanitary towels and doing menstrual talks. Yes.
So what happened to that? I mean, when you get such a request about people asking how they can do it, also how they can make the towels, do you give them instruction? Do you give kind of training to people?
It's a bit difficult because if it's like Binti Mwangaza is a CBO, so the community-based organization or the person it's supposed to help or support is these girls so that they don't miss out of school during their menstruation. But when you get like a message maybe from a politician or someone who is in business wanting to be trained on how to do the reusable sanitary towels, it becomes a bit tricky because then they have to pay for it. I have seamstresses who need to be paid for. We buy the materials which we need to pay for. So when you get
it's out of your scope.
It's different. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
but in the school girls, we do it for free.
So how big, I had asked earlier on about the future, and you said you have just opened a workshop. Do you kind of see yourself opening shops in all over, maybe major towns in the country, like Nairobi, maybe Nyeri or Nakuru, for example?
In the future, yes.
How far much in the future?
Okay, let me give it like
step by step.
5 to 10 years. It might seem like a long time, but it's not.
It's not a long time. I remember 5 years ago, we were discussing with you about your project.
Yeah.
When I was doing the Laikipia County
Times, I remember.
And if at that time, if we spoke about 5 years in future, which is now, it will be like a dream. So
exactly,
you will be surprised when 5 years from now, you call me and tell me we are now in Nairobi.
Amen.
We were Mombasa.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, maybe have you thought about having, or have you ever had people wishing to be kind of your distributors in other towns, so that they can sell for you on commission?
I got to last year. Yeah, I got two messages from two different people, one in Nyahururu and one in Mombasa, asking
Yeah.
for the same. But of course, last year has been really tricky because we couldn't even get all the seamstresses together because of this COVID-19. So everything was just
a lot
slow.
Of
Yeah.
COVID stopped a lot.
So that was a bit hard because we were not doing like mass production, which we are doing at the moment. So if they approach me at the moment, we can talk something now.
Because there are so many girls out there. And as you said, you aim to reach every girl in the country. And of course, you cannot reach them by yourself. You need to go through other people.
Yeah.
So perhaps you would need maybe an agent in Kisumu, an agent in Malindi, and so on.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything actively to reach that direction, to go into that direction?
No, I had not really thought about it because, like, if we go to a school and give a certain class the reusable sanitary towels, we don't go back to the same classroom again. Because what we do is when we give the girls the sanitary towels, we do a bit of sex education talk, we do a bit on personal hygiene, and we do a bit on training on how to make the kit.
Okay.
Because what happens with this kit, you don't have to use a sewing machine to do it. You can just use a normal, just the threads we've got at home and a needle, which most families here have got. So when we do that, we don't want those girls to come back again asking for a free kit. We want them to learn how to do it themselves. And these girls, they can either teach their aunties at home or teach their moms, because what we use is just, if your clothes is, like if you've got a jumper like this and it's 100% cotton, you just cut it nicely and make a nice thing that you can wear. It doesn't have to be a new fabric or something like that. So even by teaching girls in schools, when they finish there, they go with their skill and they continue making them for their sisters, or when they have their babies, they make them for their babies.
That's good. That's great. So that is a very impressive work you are doing. And you have really, as I said earlier, you have really rescued a lot of young girls, because I'm sure a good percentage of the 4,800 would have been out of school now.
Exactly.
Because that's what they are doing every day. Either they are taking advantage of, they go into early pregnancies, or they commit suicide. Like you just given an example of somebody in was it Baringo?
Baringo,
Yeah. So that's very commendable. And I don't know whether you have a final word, maybe a message to the communities who will be listening to this video about the issue of menstruation and how we can continue saving the girl child.
Okay. Yeah, I would have so much to say, but one thing that I usually ask people is, please help us fight this taboo or the stigma against menstruation.
Yes.
Let the kids or the girls out there know that it's a normal thing. And just don't make fun of them when they cannot afford sanitary towels or when they're menstruating. And
and this message really should go to both, particularly the men, because when they are making fun of these ladies, they are making fun of their own sisters, their own mothers, their own daughters. And as I discussed, I held another discussion earlier by another lady who is into this, and she said that we are all born by a woman. That girl is a mother. That girl you're laughing at is a mother of the whole world. So thank you very much for being a guest to Bliss Oasis Africa, and we wish you all the best.
For having me.
Yeah, we wish you all the best for the work you are doing, and continue doing the same. And I hope and pray that eventually open those branches all over the country. And people watching this who may want to get in touch with Binti Mwangaza and Binti World. We are going to put her telephone number and the website link in the description page below. So thank you very much, Anne, and I hope I'll be meeting you soon when I travel to Nanyuki again, which I've been planning in the last 2 years. I hope this time it will happen. And we'll
Please
talk
do,
more.
yeah.
We'll talk more
Yes.
about this.
We
Yes.
really appreciate to see you, and thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Asante sana Binti Anne. Kwa hivyo tuzidi kuonana, and thank you very much and all the best.
Asante sana, nimeshukuru.
Asante. Thank you for being with us until the end. Bliss Oasis Africa offers the following services: counseling and life coaching, mentorship in creative writing, publishing and consultancy, website development and digital marketing. Please visit us at our website www.blissoasis.co.ke for more information. You can also call or send us a WhatsApp message on 0722 563 544. Thank you.